All
Right,
sports
here we
all
go.
plays. Yeah. All sports all plays. All sports all plays. 365, we making up plays. You talking the game, get you to the days. We're high in the court, the dime in the lane. Variety topics living the same. All presentation, sports information, hitting the airways, taking the nation. All sport, all plays, they working your faces. Grace at the field, so tie the laces. All sports, all plays.
Well, all right, ladies and gentlemen, as you can see, it's a short crew this morning. It's me and Gonzo holding down the fort with another episode on ASAP in the morning. It's going to be a little bit shorter than normal, probably about 45 minutes to an hour, and we'll see how much we can get covered in that time frame. Gonzo, good morning. What's up, my brother?
Good morning, Jay. How you doing this morning? Hey,
No complaints. No complaints. My Astros won last night, so I'm feeling pretty good.
Hey, my Reds won, even though they tried to blow it. We're up 9-0, ended up winning 14-8.
Hey, that's baseball. You never know who's going to get that hot hand.
Starting pitcher pitched 6 innings and didn't give up no runs. And then there was a rain.
That's crazy.
There was a rain delay. They come back, and I thought they were going to lose the damn game. But
but you know what? Hey, the Reds still squeaked it out. At least they didn't give it all the way up. So they pulled out the win. So that shows some resilience on their part, right?
yeah, they've been playing a lot more competitive here lately. If you lose, you lose, but don't lose by not like 9-0. If you lose 5-4 or 3-2, I can live with that. But when you're getting blown out and not hitting the ball, that's when I get frustrated. But
I hate shutouts, and I hate low hit games like 1 or 2 hits. I hate those. I mean, it just shows that obviously either their pitching was really just that good, or you're just not able to connect. And that just sucks.
And I'm excited. NBA Finals tonight. I've been waiting on Game 3.
Game 3 is tonight. It should be a lot of fun. We'll get into that here in just a sec. I want to kind of talk real quick about the whole Deshaun Watson thing going on. It's insane to me, man. I don't. Just when you think it's over with, it's not over.
They're saying at least 66 women in over 17 months in a 17-month time period. So in less than 2 years, he had massage appointments booked with over 66 women, is what the New York Times is saying. And then he's
and the 24 women that have filed the lawsuits are in that 66, and 2 of them obviously now have come forward. First it was 22, now it's 24, and so now it looks like if it actually gets indicted and he has to go back to court, now we're looking at him possibly giving up some of that guarantee money.
Yeah, I know he had some his agent done a hell of a job, because there's some language in that contract where he still gets a good amount of money even if he don't play. I don't know how his agent pulled that off, but.
I think that it could be the Browns are just that desperate to get him and to get back to winning. So I think it's a little bit of the agent, but also I think it's a little bit of desperation on the Browns side to get back to the Super Bowl. So I think it's a little bit of both, to be honest with you. And the thing about it is, though, is a couple of things. Number one, if you're the women, if you remember back in the day when he got the $230 million and all that guaranteed money, the women were really pissed off about it, right? They weren't happy that he got that big of a contract. Matter of fact, they were really upset with the Browns for giving a guy who was accused of, these acts, that you're going to give him that money and reward him for that bad behavior. You got to think that now that 2 more women have come forward, now that he may have to go back to court, and maybe he's going to have to give up some of that guaranteed money, you got to think this women are probably back there going like, yeah, karma's a bitch, motherfucker. How you like them apples now?
Yeah. And are these 2 new women, are they just filing civil cases, or are they filing a criminal case too?
Oh, no, I think it's criminal because that's what they're getting. Well, I think that's what they're in the process of doing right now. I think it's trying to find out if it's going to go to court or not. So it looks like it's criminal. Otherwise, I don't think they'd be talking about court and things of that nature. So I think that's kind of what they're talking about right now. I don't know if it's been solidified, but it's definitely. I think that's kind of where the conversations are going.
It's a tough situation because, hey, here in America, you're supposed to be innocent until proven guilty.
Yeah.
A lot, and we see nowadays a lot of times that don't happen. You get basically proven guilty by the public before you ever go to court, and that a lot of times that stays with you. I think the Browns, like any team, were in a tough situation because if you sign them, for one, you didn't know if he's going to play, but you knew there was going to be a backlash from some of your fans and stuff.
Right.
Well, what do you do? I mean, they didn't indict nothing criminally, so you just say, hey, you're not allowed to get a job because you've been accused of something. So I think it's a tough situation because, I mean, he hasn't been proven guilty. So to me, he has the right to try to get a job and all that. But also understand why women are upset, especially when it's coming out that it's been over 66. I mean, or at least 66. So, I mean, I don't know. It's a tough situation. I thought he might get suspended 6 games, but the way if stuff keeps coming out like this, he might not play another this season either.
Bro, one of the women actually said that he basically ejaculated on her face and on her chest.
Oh wow!
I mean, it was pretty descriptive what he did or what she said he did. So,
hey Jay, did you read that? Is that new New York Times article or?
I read that. I don't know if it was a New York Times article. There was a couple articles out that was just one of them. I read it, and I forget exactly where I read it, but that's definitely one of the articles.
Report that just came out.
I mean, let's just be honest. Deshaun's got a lot of skeletons that are still probably in that closet that haven't fully come out yet because there's a couple of non-disclosure agreements that he had signed with other women, so he's got some skeletons in that closet for sure. And here's the deal. I got to be honest with you. I think if 2 more come out, and he, and if he, I don't know, man. How many times can Murphy's Law? How many times can you escape the bag before you get caught? I don't know. And again, I mean, I've only read read what the women have said that he's done, whether it goes to court or not. I mean, who knows? But you got to admit, it's looking pretty damn tough for Deshaun Watson's career to go forward.
He might be done. He might be done in the NFL.
Yeah,
he don't get to play again this year. That's like 2.5 seasons he's missed, and then who knows what's going to happen with this? More women keep coming out. I mean, the more people that come out, that makes me look even more guilty.
And then you got to figure too, if you're Baker Mayfield, oh my God, like we said earlier, if you're Baker, you got to be thinking like, well, I guess I'm going to play this year. And I'm gonna play my heart out, and then I'm gonna ask for a trade. And then the Browns are really gonna be in a pickle with no Baker and no Deshaun Watson. Now what are they doing? Especially how bad have the Browns screwed the pooch on this? I don't know.
Especially if Baker has a good season this year. Baker can come out and ball and play a little bit better than what he's been playing. Baker could cash out and be laughing at the Browns all the way to the bank on the way to the new team.
And then question,
because that's the thing, they ruined the relationship with Baker when they got the way they got Watson, and then Watson don't work out. Now you go try to tell Baker that you love him and you want and you believe in him. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
I don't think it's going to be pretty. If I'm Baker, I'm gonna laugh at you. Like, hey, I'm gonna play this season because I need to raise my value, but I'm out after this.
And the thing about it is too, is. If at first I was kind of upset that the Miami Dolphins didn't take a flyer on Deshaun Watson as much as Brian Flores was lobbying for it to the point where I think it cost him his job. How is Miami looking now that they didn't take that flyer? I think Miami is actually kind of looking like the smart ones now, and maybe Flores was like. If you're Brian Flores, you think now, like, God, I'm glad I did bring him because now he's got all these other charges. I mean, I think Miami's pretty smart now, at least on that aspect of it.
The Dolphins kind of dodged a bullet. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
They dodged a bullet because if they got Watson, they'd be in the same situation that Cleveland's in right now. So
he said, "Damn, Jay, too much." Whatever. He said, "What?" Gridiron Yuki says, "What's up?" He goes on to say Watson is guilty for damn sure. I tell you, man, it's looking crazy. And then he goes on to say, I would flip the Browns off and run into the sunset. I don't think you can do that, Gridiron. I think if you flip them off, I think you're running your chance to showcase your what you can do for the next contract. I think I think you kind of hold off on that, at least for now.
I think you do. I think you bet on yourself, try to ball out this year, then flip them off on your way out after the season.
Yeah, I think at the end of the day, I think if you're Baker, I think you just wait, let this whole thing with Deshaun Watson fall apart, and then you ball out and do you, and then you show the Browns, hey, and this is what you traded for. Well, I think you do flip them off, but I think you flip them off after you have a stellar season.
That's what to do at the end of the season.
Yeah, flip them off after your stellar season, and then get your trade value up, and then now you're looking like the best thing since sliced bread at that point. Because you're either going to come away with two things: either A, you're going to come away with the mega contract from the Browns if you decide to stay there, or B, you demand your trade and you'll get your mega contract with another team, right?
Yep.
Because let's be honest, if I'm Deshaun Watson, I got to put my personal feelings aside, right, and I think business-wise. And I know for a fact that with the Browns, I still do have a pretty good head coach. I got a great running game. I got great wide receivers, a great offensive line. I got everything I need to be successful. So I'm thinking long-term. And if I'm thinking long-term about my overall career, maybe it is best to stay with the Browns if they give you but they're going to have to pony up the Quan. And that's where you flip them off. You flip them off with basically saying, hey, look, you screwed me over, but you're going to pay me now. If you want me to stay here, you're going to have to come out the ring and really pay me.
Yeah. Oh no, I agree. If he plays this season and has a good season, he's going to have all the leverage. Definitely, he'll have the leverage against the Browns because of the way they handled it, and then he'll have more leverage against the other teams to get the kind of deal that he wants because he showed that he could do it. Yeah, the Broncos was going to be owned by Walmart. I think that's going to be interesting. I think.
And real quick, so you look at what Bauer did. What Bauer did, what Watson did. I mean, they're both bad. I mean, both are just bad. You got Bauer over there beating the hell up out of a woman, and then you got Deshaun Watson supposedly, or at least allegedly, sexually abusing a woman or women. I mean, should the NFL do to Watson what MLB did to Bauer? I'm kind of in agreement with that. I think 2 years, maybe you should. I don't know. I mean, what do you think?
I don't know if he'll get 2 years. I think he might at least get a year. But he could get 2 years because the numbers keep going up. And who knows what else is going to come out about this situation? Oh
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, that's what I was saying about Baker. That's why Joe McDonald saying Baker's a free agent next year. That's why I'm saying bet on yourself and ball out this year. That way you raise your value for next year when you're a free agent. That gives you more. That even gives you leverage with the Browns, and then you should have options with other teams because if he can prove his value this year, there's going to be teams out there to be interested in him.
Oh yeah, I guarantee you, Baker plays the full season next year with the Browns. Given what's come up with Watson, I don't see how he doesn't play a full year with the Browns.
But do you think then he'll be a free agent? Do you think he leaves after that?
I think he goes where the money is. I think the Browns may have the option and to give him the money. And I think if they come out the ring and give him what he wants, then I say stay. I say stay because you have a damn good team that you can build around. Because what happens if you go to let's say Charlotte? Let's say Charlotte comes out the rain and they give you the money. You go down to Charlotte and then you have to struggle because Charlotte doesn't necessarily have the weapons, the offensive line, and now you're going back to mediocrity and having to build stuff back up. I think if you have a good situation like the Browns team, the way they built that team, and you get the money, I think you stay in that situation. But I think you got to, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, if the Browns give you a good deal, I agree with that. But I think you at least see what other teams would offer you. Wouldn't you just check the market?
No. Don't get me wrong. You're still gonna play the market. There's no doubt about it.
Get a feel of the market. See what other teams would be interested in. What teams are interested in you? If they're a good team or a bad team, how much money? You know what I mean? Because I'd want to stay in a situation I think I'm gonna have the best chance to win, and I'm getting paid close. I'm getting paid close to the amount that I think I'm worth. You know what I
So
mean?
Joe McDonald says Article 46 allows the commissioner to basically dole out any punishment. And I'm telling you, I'm taking Article 46 about the commish, and I'm going to give Deshaun, I'm going to wait to see what happens with Deshaun. I'm not going to just dole it out. But if Deshaun Watson has to go back and gets indicted again, if he gets indicted a second time, I'm probably going to waive. I'm probably going to use that Article 46, and there will be some punishment levied out on him at some level. What do you think, Kyle?
I kind of agree. That's just the comment I was getting ready to talk about. I kind of agree. I kind of changed my mind. I do agree with you guys. It should be probably 2 years because look, what he just said made me think of that. Ridley got a year for betting on his team, and you're going to go give Watson maybe 8 games. That wouldn't really make no sense.
Yeah, and again, and that's kind of what I'm saying.
I could see it at least a season, maybe 2 seasons.
They're not good. Well, I mean, hey, the Niners might not be a bad fit for Baker as well. I don't think that the Browns are definitely not going to trade Baker at this point. Not with all the crap that's going on with Deshaun. They are not going to trade Baker. If anything, they're going to keep Baker because they need a competent quarterback behind that offensive line to stay competitive. So they're not going to trade him. I don't think we see Baker leave the Browns until the end of next year after he's played that full year. And again, I think, like Chris says, I think he's going to weigh his options with these other teams. If he has a stellar season, if Baker comes out and has the season of his life, which it could happen, he's got the weapons, he's got the line, he's got the coach. It's all on Baker's shoulders at this point as to how well he plays. It's on Baker at this point.
Hey, but we haven't really talked about this. What if Baker goes in there and demands a trade?
I mean, he could.
What if he says he ain't
do
gonna
I
play
think
for
it's
the
a
Browns
smart
this
thing to
season?
do? No.
What if he says he ain't gonna play for the Browns this season? Try to force a trade. He could do that. Then the Browns are screwed. They're gonna have Joby.
I think if he forces a trade, I think they're both screwed.
He does that. He's gonna have Jacoby. They'd have Jacoby Brissett as their starter. Hey, believe me, I saw him as a starter up close and personal with the Colts. So they don't want him as their starter.
But this is the way I look at it. This is what I think with my thinking cap. If I'm Baker and I say, okay, I'm gonna force a trade. There's only a few teams out there that will probably take a flyer on Baker. One of them gotta believe is Carolina. I don't know who would the other one be outside of Carolina that's gonna take a flyer on Baker. I think Houston is solidified with Mills. I think Miami is happy with Tua.
Maybe Seattle.
So Seattle? Okay, possibly.
Maybe Seattle because they have Drew Lock.
And we already know that Metcalf has skipped OTAs. He's got unexcused absence from OTAs. So now you're thinking, like, how happy is Metcalf over there with Seattle? So so let's say, but Seattle does have an issue on their offensive line. They have some holes.
Their offensive line isn't very well.
So I think if I'm Baker, I could go to Seattle or I could go to Carolina, but those situations aren't as good as the situation is with the Broncos if I'm trying to showcase my talent for the next big contract. Because nobody is going to give him a big contract right now based off his past performance. That's just not going to happen. He's going to have to earn that money.
No, that's why I think it'd be smarter for him to stay in Cleveland for this season. But I'm just saying, Joe McDonald said he posted a goodbye letter to Cleveland, and Damian said he thought he already demanded a trade. Did he demand a trade right after the stuff happened, and they just haven't traded him? I can't remember for sure.
I haven't heard anything about him demanding a trade. I haven't heard anything like that yet. I have not heard anything about him demanding a trade. He posted. I didn't even know he posted. I'm gonna have to look. But he may have posted a goodbye letter to Cleveland because it brought Deshaun Watson in. And that may have just been his way of saying, hey Cleveland, if you're bringing Deshaun Watson, that may have been his FU to Cleveland Browns organization. So I don't know how much stock he put into that just yet. I mean, right now, all we know is that he's still a member of the Browns. Deshaun's in a hell of a lot of trouble. And I don't think that they're going to trade him, even if he did post a goodbye letter. I think it's going to be more of a letter. Hey, Cleveland, I guess I'll be sticking around another year because Deshaun's probably about to get indicted. So I guess we're going to do a full year anyway. I think that's probably the letter he winds up posting.
Yuki said he posted it a few months ago, so it was probably when he was upset and mad about.
Yeah, that's why I don't put a lot. You can't put a lot of faith in that letter right now.
It'll be interesting to see what he does. He's due $19 million this year, and they want Cleveland to eat most of that for a trade. Yeah,
and again, I don't think, and I don't think Cleveland's about to trade the one quarterback that's not in trouble when they got their main guy in trouble. I think Baker winds up playing that last year and takes that $19 million on that last year, and then we'll see where he's at the end of that next year. But I will say this: if it's Baker Mayfield's last year in Cleveland, he better make the most of it. I mean, this is probably your one opportunity, to really showcase whatever it is you got for those next teams or for Cleveland based on things. So this is really I want to say this is probably a make it or break it year for Baker. If Deshaun is unable to play this year, this will be a make it or break it for Baker Mayfield. This year will be his make it or break it year.
I think another reason why Baker hasn't got traded is there hasn't been a whole lot of teams that have been interested because of that 19 that he's due that 19 million. And I don't think Cleveland was willing to eat enough of that money for the teams that were interested. So that's one reason I don't think he's traded. The other, I agree, is the Browns was waiting to see what was going to happen with Watson, but they might have already ruined that relationship with Baker too bad, where Baker might sit out.
I got to be honest with you. I agree. And it's going to be interesting to see what happens.
I mean? Sometimes you get so mad about something you can't repair it, and if he's at that point, he might demand a trade, and if they don't trade him, he might sit out.
Yeah. So if you look at, I think DK Metcalf deserves to be paid. To be honest with you, I really do. In 2020, he put up 1,300 yards. In 21, he put up just under 1,000. But if you look at it, I mean, Seattle had a rough year last year. I mean, honestly. But I do think DK is still at 6'4", he's got some good weight on him. He's a good physical, pretty quick wide receiver. I think he should pay him. Now, do I know how much? That's a hard thing to say, but I do think he deserves to get paid.
Oh yeah, I think he deserves to get paid. I don't know if he deserves to get paid like the highest wide receiver in the league. But I think he does deserve to get paid and get a big contract. He's put up good numbers in Seattle. He's a hell of an athlete. We've seen his speed. He's a big dude. I think he'll get paid. I don't know if he'll get like top receiver money, but I think he'll be up there, probably right under some of the top guys.
I mean, honestly, so for his career, he's got 216 catches at 3,170 on the yardage, with an average of just about 14, almost 15 yards a catch at 29 touchdowns. So, I mean, he hasn't been in the league very long at all. I mean, he's only been in the league for a little bit. So I think he's being very productive for the time that he's been in. So I think you give him the money, but how much? That's kind of where I'm a little conflicted. I don't really know how much you give. I'd probably have to see the highest paid and the middle paid and then kind of figure that out. Do I think he gets Devontae Adams money? No, I don't think he gets Devontae Adams. I think he'd be very comparable to what Amari, maybe $100 million, probably where Amari Cooper is at. I think maybe put him in the Amari Cooper category.
Yeah, I could see that.
And then let's see here. So Gridiron Lucas says DK just reminds me of T.O. He does have a T.O. kind of build. He reminds me of T.O. They're not that good, and they're both. I don't know. I mean, he is kind of a little bit of a cry. I have heard him cry a couple of times, but
okay.
how do you say T.O.?
I can't dispute you, Yuki, on that one. Because you got a point.
They do cry, but at the same time, T.O. is a hell of a damn good. He's a Hall of Famer. How is he not a good player? I mean, he cries. I get that, but he's still a damn good ass player. I don't know. I halfway agree with you, and then I halfway disagree with you. So I'm a little conflicted with that comment. But yeah, man, I get it, man. So then we kind of move on. I want to kind of talk about this whole Broncos thing. So $4.5 billion. Is it $4.5 billion or $4.6 billion? Whatever. I mean, it's a shit ton of money. It's almost $5 billion I think it was Rob or Bob Watson, Watson. What's that dude's name? Walton. Yeah, the Waltons. Yeah. So the Waltons heir buys the team for that much money, or it looks like he's in the works of buying the team for that much money. Walmart's got a shit ton of money. They just do. Pardon my French, they got a lot of money. It's almost like the Yankees. I mean, that they can pour all kinds of money into that team. How are you surprised that Robert Smith, the African American guy that was trying to buy the team, are you surprised that he was not able to acquire it and Walmart came in and bought it instead?
It was man. I think the reason he wasn't able to was because Walmart came in. I think Walmart kind of came in over the top, and
yeah,
I just don't think he had enough to do it at that point. I think they'll make some good changes. Well, that's going to be the thing, is to see how they do with the front office. Like, who's going to be their GM? Who, you know what I mean? Are they going to get rid of Elway? See what all happens there. I think if they can make good moves in the front office, I think Broncos will be fine. Man, $4.5 billion, that's just crazy. But it also shows how Walmart underpays their employees, because if you can afford to go buy a football team for $4.5 million, you can afford to pay your employees a little better.
Absolutely. To Damien's response or question about does Schultz get paid? Schultz is going to get paid. Does he get all of what he wants? I don't know. But Schultz is going to get under contract. Jerry's not going to let Schultz just walk out the door. That's their number one tight end. And that's probably the safety net for Dak Prescott. So Schultz is going to get under contract. How much he gets, I don't know for sure. But Schultz will be under contract. I promise you. It may take a little while, but they will get Schultz under contract. Will it be Walmart Field? Hey, I'll tell you, Walmart get a hell of a discount renaming Mile High. So yeah, I can see Walmart at Mile High. I can see that for sure, no doubt about it. He says Schultz isn't going to get paid because Stephen Jones is. Nah, I gotta be honest with you, Yuki. I agree that they do kind of penny pinch on those positions, but I don't think they let Schultz walk either. Who are they going to put behind? They have no other viable target with his dependability. I mean, that's like Jason Witten caliber type of guy, or, at the very beginning of that. I mean, Schultz he has great hands. He can run the routes. He can block. So I don't think they let Schultz go. I think eventually he will get paid. I'm not really too concerned about Schultz not getting what he wants, or the fact that he won't get into contract. I'm not worried about that.
No, he'll end up figuring out a deal that works for both of them.
And then he goes on to say, do y'all have – we do have Blake Jarwin. No, actually we don't. Yeah, they let go of Blake Jarwin. But who cares about Blake Jarwin anyway? He's always hurt. He was always injured. So losing Blake Jarwin really wasn't that big of a deal, because he was hardly ever on the field due to injury. So Blake Jarwin, I don't even really consider him or even think about him, because, quite frankly, he was never really available to us. So again, and to your point, because they don't have another Blake Jarwin or whatever that can catch and do the things that Schultz did, that's why I believe that Schultz does get under contract, and that's why I'm not really too concerned about it. They'll figure out a way to get him under contract.
Yeah, that's what I think. Like I said, they'll come to an agreement that works for both sides.
So then we move on to we'll go ahead and talk about tonight's game. I know everybody pretty much is back in Boston, and I think pretty much everybody is collectively thinking that, Golden State is going to win Game 3 in Boston and take a 2-1 series lead. Again, like we said earlier, games 1 and 2 were basically carbon copies of each other in terms of the way the scoring went, right? So you had in Game 1, you had Golden State getting blown out in the 4th. And in Game 2, you had Boston getting blown out in the 3rd. So, I mean, these guys they're coming across as being evenly done. But I got to be honest with you, I just think that, there's obviously some issues. We don't really know the full health on Robert Smith. And Pride will tell you, he don't care about it. Nah, no cares. But I'm telling you something, he cares a little bit. Whether he admits it or not, he cares a little bit. But there is some issues with Robert Smith, so we're going to have to monitor that and see how it goes. Horford didn't really exactly show up last game. They got blown out. My issue for the Celtics, and I'm going to say it again, is the paint. They got blown out in game 2, 40-24 in the paint. And I kind of think that, Golden State is going to carbon copy that. And I think that's kind of what I think we're going to see again in game 3, is I think that Boston's going to struggle in the paint, and I think that's where Golden State takes advantage. What do you think, Gonzo?
Yeah, I have Golden State winning tonight. I think they could split this. I think it's probably going to be 1-1 in Boston, like it was in Golden State. I'm still going to stick with my pick, Warriors in 6. Boston goes through too many scoring lulls, I think, to be able to beat the Warriors 4 out of 7, especially if Steph Curry if they don't figure out a way to slow down Steph Curry a little bit, they're going to be in trouble. Steph Curry's played real well so far in the finals, and
right. And I was kind of reading up a little bit on that, Jason.
The Warriors have more weapons. I mean, I agree with you. I think they're a little deeper than Boston, and getting Peyton back was a big plus. Being able to have Peyton back for the finals, because when he went down, I thought that might kill the Warriors, but the Warriors was able to get to this point, and then him coming back is really going to help him because of his defense. Wiggins can play defense. Thompson can still play defense, not the level that he was before he got hurt, but he's still and you got Draymond Green that can play some defense. So you got four guys there that are real good defensively. Yes, Steph Curry isn't great on the defensive side, but it's not a lot of it's not because of effort. A lot of times you see effort from him on defense, but he's just undersized. So
right now, Robert Williams is day-to-day, and Peyton, Porter, and Iguodala are all day-to-day. But so again, I think there's no really true, definitive answers on it if anybody doesn't play or does play.
And Porter has played pretty good in the finals so far.
Yeah, he has. He says the Celtics right now, a couple of the trackers, believe it or not, actually have this, and I don't believe this for 1 minute, but they actually have
89%.
Yeah, and I'm like, they're giving Boston that much?
Yeah,
I don't know.
I was on a site last night. It said that Boston had an 89% chance to win the finals. And I was like, how the hell I wouldn't even give the Warriors an 89% chance of winning the finals right now. Series tied 1-1. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. And I'll tell you,
one of the teams had like a 3-1 lead. And okay, if you want to say there's an 89% chance, I'll be on board, but not when the series 1-1.
Oh no. And I got to be honest with you, Tatum is going to have. I know there was a lot of questions about, is Tatum a superstar? Well, I'll tell you right now, if he is a superstar, it's going to require a superstar effort in Game 3 for Boston to beat the Warriors. So Tatum is going to have a superstar effort, and Smart's going to have to play a little bit as well. I mean, it's going to require more than just Tatum to beat Golden State, but he's going to have a superstar effort. He can't just go in there and score 17 on 9 of 21 shooting or whatever. He's going to have to play, some really, really good, tough basketball.
Yeah,
but I don't know. I'm with you, Gonzo. I in my heart, I just see Golden State take it. I think they're going to be just a little bit too much, and I think we're going to see more of Game 2 in Game 3 than Game 1 in Game 3.
I do. I think the Warriors are going to win tonight. I think Steph's going to come out, get the offense going, and I think Jordan Poole's going to have another good game. And honestly, I'm thinking Thompson's going to get going. Because I was looking at some stuff. If you look back in the all the playoff series, the first 2 games he hasn't played very well. Then after that he's shot pretty good. So I'm expecting him to come out tonight in Game 3 and have a good game. At least that's what the trend has been. The trend has been he ain't done a whole lot in offense the first 2 games. Then usually in Game 3 and like 3, 4, and 5, he plays a lot better. So I'm looking for him to have a big game tonight.
No doubt about it.
Klay Thompson's at least going to have a 30-point game in one of these games. One game in the series, he's going to go off.
I just, I've been waiting for Klay, man, and I've been waiting a hot minute for Klay, and it just seems like, damn, throughout the whole playoffs, he kind of struggles that first half, and then the second half, he'll hit some clutch shots, right? But it just seems like it's getting longer and longer to get to those clutch shots with Klay, and that's the one aspect of Golden State that I've really been kind of waiting on. It's almost like, come on, Klay, it's time to get going now and stop BSing. Let's bring out the real Klay Thompson.
Yeah. Yeah,
but all right.
I like Thompson. I'd like to see him get back to more like he was before the injury. But if you think about it, a lot of times, when you have a knee injury or a leg injury like that, it usually takes about 2 years before you're back to close to normal. So I think next year he's even going to be better than this year, especially on the defensive end, because he'll be another year healed with that leg, be more comfortable, be mentally be able to trust that you're not going to do something that's just going to be, you're going to be hurt, re-injure it. You know what I mean? That's one thing that takes time to get back from the injury is mentally, because you got to get back to trusting you could do what you used to do without getting hurt again. So I think he'll be better, even better next year. I look for him. He's going to have at least a couple games in this series where he has a big impact.
What do you think about D'Antoni? Switching gears a little bit, what do you think about D'Antoni interviewing for the Charlotte job with Jordan? Does D'Antoni still have anything left really to offer the game of basketball? I've never really been a D'Antoni fan. I've just never liked him. But I thought his best years was with Phoenix. But really, after that, I just have not been a big fan. What do you think about D'Antoni interviewing with the Charlotte Bobcats?
I think he's interviewing. They brought him in. He's already went through, I think, 2 interviews. Now he's going to interview with Jordan because he interviewed with all the front office people, GM, and all that. And there was another coach that was meeting with Jordan too. And I guess they're going after that. They'll announce who it is. I think D'Antoni would be a good fit there, though, because of LaMelo Ball. Look what he did with James Harden, LaMelo Ball can ball. I mean, he can play, and he.
Oh, absolutely! No, there's no doubt about it. LaMelo can ball.
So I for that reason, with the roster they have, I think D'Antoni would be a good fit because you have LaMelo Ball, which you could try to use him somewhat like what you use James Harden. You got Zeller down there as a big guy that's not terrible. I mean, they have a decent team around. They're starting to get a decent team around them. So I think D'Antoni would be a good fit. And I'm like you. I'm not a big D'Antoni fan. I don't think that style is going to win you a championship. I think it'll get you to the playoffs and be competitive. But look with Houston, and they can never get over that hump in that style. They'd have a game where they'd miss 33 pointers and keep throwing them up.
Right.
So so I don't really think D'Antoni has the coaching style that's going to win a championship. But I do think his style fits well with the roster that the Hornets have.
I was just seeing an article, and I'm kind of switching around. I'm all over the place now, but I was seeing an article where it looked like Dusty Baker got kicked out of the game with the dust-up that happened with the Seattle Mariners. I guess Astros reliever Hector Neris was issued a 4-game suspension Tuesday for intentionally throwing behind Seattle Mariners third baseman Eugene Suarez's head Monday, and both teams had to be warned following a bench-clearing skirmish. So I guess Dusty went out there, got suspended by Major League Baseball, and they were fined an undisclosed amount, I guess, for whatever reason. But, yeah, you don't see that very often. That's one thing in baseball I have not seen a lot of is bench clearings and dust-ups. It seems like it's been kind of a quiet year in baseball.
Yeah. It has been quite good. Astros, man. I'm not a Houston fan. You know who I'm a fan of. But
yeah,
the Astros have a good pitching staff. If their bats start getting hot, which they've been hitting the ball better, they're going to be a tough team to put at the end of the season in the playoffs, as long as they can stay healthy. They just have to get there. And they've been hitting the ball better lately. They started off the season hitting the ball terrible. That's why their team batting average is so low.
Absolutely.
They're hitting 235 as a team, but their pitching staff has a 3.01 team ERA. So the Astros pitching has been real solid all season.
Yeah, the Astros are in a really weird situation right now. They typically have always been a really good offensive team. Even Brantley, all of them usually hit around the 300. Even Gurriel typically hits around 300 as an average, but they're all dipping around the 250, 260 range. So it's really been kind of a struggling year offensively for the Astros that they typically have not had to deal with in years past. Typically, like you said, it's been the pitching that they kind of struggled with, more specifically the bullpen that the Astros have kind of struggled with. And this year, our pitching is actually doing extremely well, but now it's kind of like the offense is still kind of anemic, and we're waiting for them to get going. With the exception of Jordan Alvarez. Jordan Alvarez, even after he got that big contract, seems to be playing quite well. Hey, Jay Nash,
going on, man?
Those beautiful dark locks in the background flowing through the air.
How y'all doing this morning?
Good, man. Good.
You? How you doing?
I'm doing good. It's been a minute since I was able to have my presence in the same area as Chris, so I had to get on here and say what's up,
Yeah, we haven't been on the same show for a while.
Right. What we talking about?
So we just finished up we were kind of talking a little bit about baseball, a little bit of things that are going on in baseball, and we I was kind of transition a little bit into this hockey realm of life. Tampa Bay, I kind of thought they might be done with going up against the Rangers when they went down 2-0. And then now they've actually fought their way back, and now it's 2-2. And I actually had Tampa Bay win the Stanley Cup and going for a three-peat. Where do you see that, Jay? Do you follow hockey? Have you seen how they've been going? Jay, you're muted, brother.
My bad. Yeah, no. I thought the same thing, actually. The Rangers is a strong organization. They got that history behind them. And I just thought them going up like that, it was inevitable for them to close out the series. But It's kind of scary. You give a team like Tampa Bay with that franchise like that that's really out there shooting for the stars. You give them some life in such a highly stressful series as it is. You give a team like that life, and they can ride that and end up knocking the Rangers out. So it's gonna be, I think, at this point at 2-2, everything's reset. You start over. So we're really gonna see a dogfight this next three.
Gonzo, what's your interpretation of the playoffs as far as of Tampa Bay and New York? Who are you predicting, and are you surprised that Tampa was able to come back and tie up the series?
I'm real surprised that Tampa tied it back up. I thought the series was over when Rangers got up 2-0. Now I think the Rangers are in some trouble because you give a team a second life, like they've given the Lightning. That's a lot of momentum going into these last three games. So. And I'll tell you what, that was a hell of a hockey game last night. I watched some hockey, but I don't follow it a lot. I've been watching the playoffs. Playoffs have been good. Man, there was a fight last night. They were going at it. I mean, it was a good competitive game. And for them to come back and get a win like that, I'm kind of leaning toward Tampa Bay now.
And I'll tell you another thing.
I kind of got to imagine that as this series goes along, especially now that they've tied it up 2-2, and we had a little bit of skirmishes last night, that we're probably going to see a lot more skirmishes or a lot more fights and a lot more cattiness in this series. Wouldn't you agree?
Especially from the Rangers. And I would say another thing for hockey, it's good to have, a franchise like the Rangers, these well-decorated franchises. It's good to have them in the Stanley Cup, and it's good for the longevity of the league. One emphasis I would like to say that as much as the NHL has kind of struggled financially, I feel like the buzz of the NHL has grown over the last couple of years. And one thing that I've noticed, the Arizona Coyotes, they got ran out of their stadium recently. They had a big dispute with the city of Glendale. There was taxes owed. At one point, they locked the Coyotes out the stadium.
Yeah.
But they just secured a huge deal for a brand new stadium in Tempe, and it looks marvelous. So I'm rooting for the NHL. This series alone is really good for it. Like I say, Jay, I don't know if you agree with me or not, but this particular NHL playoffs has been exciting.
It's been one of the best playoffs in a long time for hockey. My dad's a big hockey fan. He's been like, man, it's the best playoffs I've seen in years. So, and their game, you can see, like you said, the NHL is growing.
Right. I think it's just the competitiveness of this playoffs has been just crazy, and I think really this specific series is showing just how competitive this playoffs has been.
And I call it the Avalanche. The Avalanche are loving this, so because they're going to get a bunch of rest going into the finals.
Yeah, and as a kid, when hockey was like at its peak, you had the Red Wings, the Avalanche, the Blackhawks, and then the Rangers. So it's really good to see the Rangers and the Avalanche in there. And then for Tampa Bay, I don't know how you guys feel, but I think Tampa Bay is kind of like a quote unquote gold mine for sports right now as a budding city. I think Tom Brady obviously helped push that forward a little bit, but Tampa's a really good city to have a franchise that's growing in.
Yeah, they're doing a lot better than Dallas. So, man, Dallas is my team, and we didn't fare too well this year in the playoffs. So I don't know if Dallas is ever going to. I don't know, man. These last couple of years, we just kind of been bottom rung down at the bottom. And not that I'm not really a big hockey fan because let's be honest, Jay. I mean, you're down in Arizona. I don't know how much hockey you guys get in Arizona, but like for Houston, we never really had a big hockey following because it just wasn't a whole lot of hockey around. We weren't playing it in high school. I didn't really grow up on it. I didn't really kind of get into hockey a little bit until until the Minnesota Stars moved their butts down to Dallas, and then Houston got like a minor league hockey team. I think the Arrows or whatever their name was. Right shortly thereafter that, and so I kind of started getting into hockey a little bit. But it's good to see hockey, I guess, expand into areas where typically we wouldn't follow hockey just because it's not really in our social system.
Yeah. I think one thing that to your point about Arizona, we have a lot of snowbirds. We have a lot of Canadians that come down here, and I think that helped. But now, man, this is a little bit more of a hockey state. They're very supportive.
You're breaking up, Jay.
With,
No, I think it's good. I think it's good. Not and like Indiana's the same as like kind of what you explained, Jay. You don't see hockey around here. They don't have it in high school as a sport. We don't see hockey. You don't see a lot of hockey in Indiana. We don't have a pro team. We do have a minor league hockey team in Indianapolis. Me and Dad go to them games quite often. That's when I started getting more into hockey because I was like, man, I just can't get into it when I'm watching it on TV. We went to a hockey game. Now you go to a hockey game live. It was a hell of a time. We set up right there by the glass. We had a blast. But watching it on TV I don't know. It's a little. I ain't gonna lie. A lot of times I have trouble following the damn puck.
Yeah, no, and again, I think it's just. I guess I would like to see hockey really start to try to market more in the southern states where it's just not as big of a thing. I think if they're going to grow, I think if hockey's going to grow, they're really going to have to start doing more marketing to the states like in the South where we just don't have exposure like that. You know what I mean?
Yep. No, I agree. I would love for Indianapolis to get a pro hockey team. You know what I mean?
Just anything along those lines would be great.
It'd be great. Because like I said, I like going to Indianapolis and watching that minor league team. Me and Dad go down there at least 2 or 3 games a season. Usually, we haven't went this year because, of course, I've been having some health issues. But I like going to watch hockey live. And I love seeing it grow. Any sport. I've watched tennis. I like watching the tennis majors. I watch golf. I watch about any sport. I don't care what it is. Usually, I even watch
but tennis and golf. I mean, those are high school sports. Like when I was coming through high school, we had tennis teams, we had hockey. I mean, we had golf teams and things like that. But just hockey was just one of those things, we just never had. That and lacrosse. We didn't have lacrosse either.
We didn't have lacrosse or hockey here either.
Well, all right, folks. Hey, we're at the point where we're going to close this bad boy out. We're going to get to the final thoughts segment. Gonzo, what's your final thoughts for this show as we close out?
Hey, we got a bunch of games today in Major League Baseball, so it's a pretty big day in sports. You got you don't have hockey tonight, but you have NBA Finals tonight, Game 3, which I think is going to be a hell of a game tonight. So I'm looking forward to a great day in sports. Also, I have a big interview today with he's a big pro wrestling fan, and he's also runs a podcast called Autism Rocks and Rolls. Sam Mitchell tonight at 6 p.m. on the Gonzo Sports Room channels. Come check it out. Should be a great show.
Yeah, you guys go out there and check out Gonzo Sports Room. He has a lot of really good content over there with wrestling, as well as pretty much just about anything sports related. Gonzo betting. If you're a betting person, he has Gonzo Sports Betting Show. So Gonzo definitely has a lot of things going on. So definitely got to check him out. And you're right, a lot of good baseball games on today. I think we still got the Mariners. I really need to win this game against Seattle tonight just to kind of even up the series. And so Mickey Delaney won't be in my DMs giving me a hard time.
You play Seattle, and you have your Urquidy on the mound. He's 5-2 this year.
Yeah, Verlander got 12 strikeouts last night and did phenomenal in his win. And then I know you guys got the Reds got the Diamondbacks, and Frankie still has the Twins, and I really kind of hope the Twins beat them because I just need Frankie to come back down to reality, so we'll see what happens.
And the Braves play the Athletics again.
Yeah, Logan was mad because I said I wanted the Braves to lose. He was a little upset about that. He kind of DM'd me.
The group chat. I was laughing.
Yeah, he kind of got on me for that. Logan, I'm sorry. Don't hate me, okay? It's just competitive fun.
Logan had some good seats for that game.
Yeah, he did. He had really nice. Looked like he's probably the mezzanine level right there behind first base. Yeah, he was doing pretty well. Like I said, NBA is tonight, 9:00 Eastern. It's going to be phenomenal to see who's going to come out in Game 3. I really want to see that. So, yeah.
One more thing, Jay. Also, I'm pretty sure I saw in the group chat there's going to be a live watch-along play-by-play thing tonight for the NBA Finals. So,
is that right?
So check out ASAP Sports Network tonight. I think Nate. I think Nate was putting it together, if I remember right.
Okay, folks, just keep an eye out on the ASAP Sports Network, on Facebook and things of that nature. You'll see it pop up, and if they do a watch-along, that's going to be phenomenal and kind of see how that plays out. Until next time, it's your boy Jay McLovin and Gonzo from Gonzo Sports Room. We also had Jay Ness come on here and hang out with us. Good time always having the CEO come on the show and hang out with us. So,
always nice to see Jay.
It is, especially those long flowing brown locks of his. It flowing in the air. It's amazing. Thursday, tomorrow morning, 10:00, we'll see you for another episode, and we will talk everything finals, sports related, and we'll get into everything else in between. And that's the show. Y'all have a good one.
All sports, all plays. All sports, all plays. All sports, all plays. 365, we're making a place. You talking the game, get you through the days. We're high in the court, the dime in the lane. Variety topics, living the same. All presentation, sports information. In the airways, taking the nation. All sport, all plays, like working your faces. Grace at the field, so tie the laces.